discussed about working with TypeScript related important types. Yeah. So we discussed about some important string functions, manipulating strings, handling strings, some important functions we learned. All the string functions, these are very important in future, especially while working with various types of examples and validations in future, right? We need to understand about them, right? So my voice is audible to everyone. Please check from your side, Ram Krishna. Is it audible to everyone? Others? Yes, yes. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Right. Okay. Now we will see some more few options are available. So related to string. Already we discussed about various string functions detailing. Next important, we need to understand a few more, two more string functions are there. Later, as per situation, we will discuss about the others also. So some more string important functions we have is we are having a split function, split method. In the functions, we have a split method. Usually, the purpose of split is nothing but actually it can split the string. It can split the string at specified character and return an array of strings. It returns an array of strings. Later, when you learn about arrays, you can handle it more clearly. You can handle it more clearly, right? So the point is how we can manage that. So how we can manage that, how we can handle that, right? Let's see. So technically later, initially we will work with the string functions and put in proper examples. Suppose we have a string here separated with some delimiters, like, so we have some comma separated. Suppose we have name, some Samsung TV, so some value and some price or some other details we are defining. Suppose in stock, like this. Now I want to separate these three details, because when we get the details, sometimes we get the details in this way. Generally you have Excel or Word like softwares. They have a CSV format, CSV, that means comma separated. That means mobile numbers, usernames, and their details, they are actually maintained in a CSV. Do you know where CSV format is used very much? Where CSV format is used? Have you heard about that CSV, comma separated contents, right? Do you know where it is used? CSV format, where it is used in real world? Means I am not asking about the language actually. That means in real world where you can actually use that, right? Generally, means in general I am asking. Okay, actually, so you have seen mobiles, on your mobiles, bulk SMS will come. Bulk SMS means the mobile providers will send you a message greetings messages, promotion messages, bulk they will send a message. Have you observed? Have you ever used bulk SMS? Have you ever used bulk SMS like a way to SMS? Do you have experience? Right? You never used bulk SMS, right? Yes, yes. You can upload your contact details and their names. You can upload their contact details and names. It will ask that all the names must be uploaded with a comma separated. Mobile number, name. It will ask a CSV file. Not only that, observe carefully. Do you know you can import your Google contacts into a Excel file? Do you know that? You can export your Google contacts. You can export your Google contacts into a Excel file. So it will provide that facility. Then it will take a CSV file. CSV means comma separated. That means all the data are separated with comma, right? That means a separator is used. But what we have to do is when we are reading, we have to again divide it and read. That means suppose all the details are separated here. All the details are separated here with comma. I need to read it. I need to read it. So that means we need to collect the data and read it separately. We need to separate that. Then what we can do is we can create. So LET. So later we will learn about arrays. Later we will learn about arrays. Here I will display data. Data is a string type. Is a string type. Into that MSG dot split at which character? You have to define the character comma. That means it will split at comma. And this data it says that currently when you split it will come in the form of array. It will separate all the three values. Then it says that data should be array type. That means you have to use a square brace. It should be an array type. You should use the square brace. You should use the square brace. Later we will learn about arrays because the result we are expecting as an array. Now what we have to do is we have to print all these details. In order to print all these details in an array, the first value is at index 0, second value is at index 1, third value is at index 2. I will use a simple technique for var value of data. Actually, data is of is an iterator. It can read every value present inside this data and it can store that value here. We can print that value. Console.log, we are printing the value. Actually, you can access like an array. Directly, you can use for loops, various. Actually, for of is an iterator. What this iterator will do is, it will read every value present inside the data and it will print that value. That means all the values are separated. All the values are separated. So you can see all the values are separated. When I compile and run this, so let's run this. Right, I will compile and run this here. So here TSC, so it is demo.ts and node str_demo.js. And you can see it separates and prints those details here. str_demo.js. It can print all the details separately. It prints all the details separately. That means it separates at comma and it can individually divide them so that we can collect individual values and deal with them. So split the string at specified character. It can be space, it can be comma, or any character, and it can return the array. It can return the array. So your string dot split dot split, and you have to split at the specified character. That means delimiter. Delimiter is separator. You have to define at the separator. That is how we have to define. So a simple example. So for this is an example. So this is an example. Actually, I am using an iterator to read all the values from the array. Individually, we can read and we can print those details individually. Individually, how we can print, we can write like this actually. Suppose I want to print name, then console.log. So here we are printing name is equal to, I can get the name 0 with name actually. You can do this. Individually, you can access name, you can access price. Because we haven't learned about arrays, later we will learn about arrays and we will see how to handle it, right? We will see how we can handle it, right? So one by one, we will discuss about that, right? How to handle based on the different situations, we can do that, right? So technically, when arrays, we will understand about that, right? How to compile in Visual Studio Code. Why, Saichan, you are facing any big problem in compiling in Visual Studio Code? Then already I showed you in several times. Then what is the challenge for you here? In terminal, how to do? Just you have to do in the same way how you do in the command prompt. Is it challenging for you? It's a challenging task that you are unable to run in terminal this. Then, is there any reason for that? Then what is your point at all? Why I should show you in Visual Studio Code terminal? Already I told you, I can run this in Visual Studio Code, but it is not visible to you on the screens. You run in Visual Studio Code or anywhere, it is same. I don't know what you are up to, right? We are opening that location in terminal, tsc strdemo.ts. So node strdemo.js. We have to compile and run this. So it gets the details and display. What is special? What is problem you are facing here, Mr. Sai? Is there sometimes it will not work? That may be the issue. That's the reason, right? If TSC is not recognized, I told you how to handle that. So if you are facing the issue like TSC not recognized, you have to do this. What to do? So click here in the terminal. You click in the terminal. In the terminal, you choose select default shell. Select default shell. Here you choose command prompt. There is a PowerShell. There is a git bash. You select command prompt. After selecting the command prompt, click on new terminal. You click on new terminal. You click on new terminal and now compile, it will work. Okay, understood? If anybody faces the problem related to that, you try that. If it is saying TSC not recognized, there are two issues. One, TypeScript is not installed. If TypeScript is installed, then do this point. What you have to do, open the terminal, right? Open the terminal and choose here, select default shell and select command prompt and select a new terminal and execute there. Sometimes the problem will come if you are facing any problem, right? So now I showed you solution. Now I showed you solution for Ramakrishna and others. Is it clear? You can try this now, right? That will be no problem, right? Okay, fine. Okay. Because sometimes PowerShells will give you that issue due to some read-only permissions in your C drives, right? That's the reason. You will get that issue, no problem. You open in a default command terminal, it will work. Okay, right. So this is how we can manage the split option. This is an example for how do we work with the split. If you later learn about arrays, we will learn how to deal with these individually, right? We can deal with these individually. Technically, how we can manage them and deal with them, right? Yeah. So this is one split option, how we can use the split. Another string function we are having trim. Another string function we are having trim. Now trim is used to it returns a new string by removing the leading spaces by removing the leading spaces. It will return a new string by removing the leading spaces. Leading spaces are nothing but not the spaces between the strings. The spaces before the string and after the string, the spaces will be removed. Mostly after the string, we don't need to worry. Before the string only, the problem will come. As of now, in HTML, if you are dealing with that, no problem. For example, see here. Suppose I said let msg is equal, it is a string, and equal to, here I am defining some option like I'm printing like this. Suppose I have a space, because this problem regularly comes. Where the problem comes, I will tell you. Suppose you have password. So password, okay, it is a string type, and we ask her to enter password. So he entered the password John. Sometimes what happens is, in future, we will ask them to enter in a text box to enter the password. He will enter in the text box. Sometimes you have seen very regularly in a text box, unknowingly we will press a space and type password. Unknowingly we copy and paste OTPs from other location. That means an OTP comes. We will copy and paste that OTP. Then extra spaces are also copied. While verifying, it will check that extra space also. Due to that, it will immediately say that it is invalid. You have given correct OTP, but you copied from somewhere and pasted it. Then what happens? It says that it is not correct because some extra spaces are coming into it. This problem regularly comes. I hope you have observed that very regularly, especially when you are copying and pasting the numbers from one location to another. Spaces also extra will be done. Due to that, what happens is, if I am verifying the password, if password is equal to John, I am verifying the password equal to John. And so console.log, I said verified. So else what should happen? Console.log, invalid password. This message will come. Invalid password, this message will come. So verified invalid password will come. Your screen is moving, that may be from your side. Nobody else is complaining. You check your side, right? So here, now see here, once we compile and run this, actually the term is same. John, I have given John. I will compile and run this here. Okay, and the node strdemo.js, and you can see it says invalid password. Because this extra space is captured here. That generally happens when we paste or when we are typing in text box. These issues will come. Then usually what we have to do is, so we have to use password.trim and compare with John. Password.trim and compare with John. Then once I compile this and run this now, that means password will be trimmed and it will be compared. Then this time it should say verified. I hope you understood, right? Because these issues regularly come for us generally when we are designing UI and we are asking to copy from one place and paste it another place. So we need to understand that. That's the reason we have to handle, right? So the point here is we have to uh, remove the unnecessary space. Remember, it is not removing the space between the characters. It is the space leading before that character starts. Actually, after also, for example, see here, after John also one space is present. After John also one space is present. I'm compiling this again and running this. So we are running this. So it says verified. So no problem. It can handle both of them, before and after the spaces. Not in between. In between some space may come. In between some space may come. Inside the string, in between the space may come. So the trimming cannot happen in between that says invalid password. Hope you are clear with that. That means it will not remove that blank space between. So it can remove only the leading spaces before and after the character it will do. So it cannot remove that in between spaces, right? So that is what we have to understand about, we need to understand about trim. So this is the basic point how we can handle the string related functions, configuring and working with the string related functions. Now, several other functions are there so that you will understand according to the situation, as because all are JavaScript ES functions only, ES5, ES6 functions only. So if you are strong in JavaScript string handling, the all concepts are same. TypeScript is not doing anything new. So anyhow, if you know this, that will be good. That will be good, right? But some more functions are there which we will learn according to the situation when the concept comes related to that. But these all functions are enough to understand about how we can deal with the strings. So in primitive types, till now we have learned about two types. In primitive types, we learned about two types. One is we discussed about how to deal with a number type. Another one, how to deal with a string type. Another important in the primitive types, we need to know about a Boolean type. Boolean type. Technically, so what is a Boolean type and what is a Boolean value and what is the purpose of Boolean value? Technically, can you tell me what is the purpose of storing a Boolean value in memory? So Boolean value means true or false. What is the purpose of storing a Boolean value in memory? Can you tell me any answer for that? What is the purpose of a Boolean value? I want technically one word answer. Technically, where we use Boolean. Technically, where we use Boolean. Good. So that means you can say that Booleans, yeah, technically Booleans are used actually. Good. Some answers are good. You are giving them, right? Actually, Boolean, yeah, good, great. The word flag, okay, good. So actually, in simple point, you need to know that technically Booleans are used in decision making. Boolean values are used in decision making. Am I correct? Your answers also great, good. But is my answer makes more sense than yours? Yes or no? Yes, huh? Yeah. So that means the point is Booleans are used in decision making. Already you said whatever you said, all are same, similar to that. But actually we expect the technical term, because if I can explain the technical term, I tell the technical term, the interviewer will not go more into it actually. In interviews, when any interviewer asks you a question, if you exactly tell the technical term for it, then he will be satisfied with your answer. If you don't do that, generally he goes on expanding that concept. That means he will say, no, it's not like that. Is there anything else like that? That's the reason, to avoid all that, better we have to learn those technical words and hit them directly. Then it is more simple in answering, right? Your answers also good, your answers also correct, but it will be good if I say that it is decision making, right? Booleans are used in decision making, they are used in decision making. And generally, why we need decision making, can you tell me? Why we need decision making, can you tell me? Why you need decision making in programming? Booleans are used in decision making. Yeah, very good. So you can say that it is used to control the flow of statements. Good. It is used to control the flow of statements. Understood? Controlling the flow of statements. Right? It will be good. Right? It is to control the flow of statements. So technically, the point is, so Boolean type. So what is Boolean type? Boolean type. Yeah. Technically what is Boolean type and how we can do that, right? So actually, so Boolean is used in decision making. Boolean is used in decision making. Actually, technically, you can say that it is used for controlling the flow. It is used for controlling the flow. So it is used in decision making, right? It is used to control the flow. Right. Okay. Boolean is used in decision making. The Boolean values, the Boolean values are used to control the execution flow. The Boolean values are used to control the execution flow, and important is Boolean TypeScript uses Boolean as data type to store a bool value in memory. And important, so it can handle only true or false. So unlike unlike so that means you say that uh, unlike javascript unlike javascript so unlike javascript it is not so unlike javascript it is not 0 or 1. It is it is directly true or false. That means you can say like javascript. So it is not 0 or 1, it is directly true or false. Unlike it is true or false. This is one thing you should know. Actually, in JavaScript, Boolean true, Boolean false are handled by using a number also. So 0, 1 for true in JavaScript. So 1 is for true and 0 is for false. 0 is for false. 1 is for true and 0 is for false. 0 is for false. That is what actually. That means in JavaScript, 0 or 1, directly true or false. But not in TypeScript. TypeScript cannot use 0, 1. So TypeScript can compare directly by true or false. In JavaScript, it can do that. So, but not in TypeScript. That's the point you need to know here. So Boolean types usually defined like this. Suppose LET, so product name, is equal to, it is a string type. So it says some Samsung TV. Okay. Then LET, product price. So price, or simply I will give simple name price like this. Name, then price. Price is number type. Some price I defined. And LET is in stock, and it is a Boolean type. And here we are using true or false. Remember one point. Traditionally, Boolean variable name must start with is is. So that is the programming tradition actually. That means if you are trying to store a Boolean value as per the rules of programming standards, right? As per the programming standards, it is always good you keep the name as is, because we use camel case. Generally in camel case we write like this, so is in stock, that will be good. Actually everything better to write in camel case, name, so price is in stock, like that. So technically here I'm just using a tradition, general is good, right? This is good. Okay, that means it is not mandatory, but it is a general standard for a developer that if I see that any variable is having the prefix starting with is, then I can immediately tell as a developer that, oh, it is handling some Boolean. That is the basic blindfolded tradition for developers to keep the names also properly. I already told you, when we are naming the variables, a variable name must speak what it is. That means by seeing itself, we can able to tell that what kind of value it may have, right? So that is the reason it's the tradition. Okay. Now important is actually if it is JavaScript, I can check this Boolean with the true false. I will show you with 0 1. Actually in JavaScript I can do that. Temporarily I will show you here. See what I am doing here. Temporarily what I am doing here in JavaScript I am showing you first. In JavaScript I am showing you first. Means how it is very different from JavaScript. How we can it is different from JavaScript. So here I am configuring. So where x is equal to, suppose true, x is equal to true. If x is equal to 1, then I am defining here document.write. So here I will simply put a statement. So I will put a statement that that x is true. X is true. Else. So x document.write. So I said here x is false. X is false. So like this I am configuring. And initially when I run this, actually this is in JavaScript, then you can see I'm comparing with the 1, it is working fine. So suppose if it is false, that means it is not equal to 1. False is 0 in JavaScript, then it is say x is false. So Boolean conditions are directly handled by using this technique, but not in TypeScript. TypeScript cannot do that. TypeScript will not allow, because it is strongly typed, it will not allow. So in TypeScript, Booleans are handled directly by using the keyword true and false. That means what we have to do is, we have to print like this. So console.log, name, I will use backtick, name is equal to $, it will come from name, and /n in the next line. So price is equal to, so $, so it will come from price, and /n, and here we are defining. So in stock, so stock I will put here, so equal to, and $. I will write a small ternary expression here, ternary operator and an expression here. I am writing a condition here. Is in stock is equal to true. Then if the condition is true, question mark, I have to print available, and colon, so it should say out of stock. I have to define out of stock. So this is how we need to manage. Right? That is true, that is out of stock, that's how it has to define. Okay, let's try to compare this by using 1, and it shows invalid. That is valid in JavaScript, not valid here, because here it is a Boolean type, and a Boolean type can always returns false because it is a number type. That means number type cannot overlap onto this. That's the reason not possible at all. So you, because 1 is representing a number, you have to define as true. So if it is true or false, you have to directly use the keywords true or false. If true, then what should happen? If false, what should happen, right? That's now when I compare this, when I compile and run this, so you can see it can handle that. It can handle that. Then it will display stock available, right? That is what actually the Boolean types are. Boolean types are. And how the Boolean types differ from JavaScript Boolean types. So that is one point also you need to understand. Later, we will put in different examples, but here we are just understanding the data types. What are the data types and what are the points we need to know about these data types? So we have a number, we have a string and Boolean. And Boolean types are stored by using the keyword Boolean. That is the data type for Booleans. We have to use the keyword Boolean, right? So it can handle only two values, either true or false. That's it. That's what actually the purpose of the Boolean types here. So it is a little bit different from JavaScript handling because JavaScript can handle numeric also, right? Next, another important is undefined type. Undefined type. Another undefined type. Here, one important is actually undefined, and we have one more option, not defined. There is two important options, undefined and not defined. Not defined. You need to know, understand the difference between these two first. And what do you think? Undefined, not defined, both are equal? Undefined, not defined. Are both equal? Not equal. Okay, good. Then can you tell me what is not defined means? So what is not defined means? Technically, what is undefined and what is not defined? Yeah, I will tell you. So what is undefined and what is not defined actually? So for example, let x is a number. X is a number. And console.log I am printing value of x. That means x is equal to plus x. Remember, a variable is declared. But value is not defined into it. If value is not defined into it, the compiler will it will not show any error. If the value is not defined into it, that means it will not show any error. It will simply put as x is undefined. Undefined means variable is available. Variable is available, but no value assigned, but no value defined. Variable is available, but no value is defined into it. If no value is defined into it, then automatically it will put undefined. So undefined is a type. Which is to tell that there is no value inside that variable. Remember, don't use empty. This is an empty. Empty means a blank and it is a string. Don't use zero. Zero is also a value. So how do we tell that the value is not defined into it? Don't use null. Null is a different concept. I will tell you what is null. Later I will tell you. You should not use null also. So when to use null, I will tell you. We will discuss about that, when null is expected. Important is undefined. Variable is available, but no value defined. That means x is a variable, it is available, but there is no value inside it. Then x will return undefined. Not defined means here you are trying to print. So suppose I will put a backtick here. I will put a backtick here, and x is equal to $x and slash n, and here I will put y is equal to $y. Now, is there any variable reference for y? There is no variable reference for y. Then automatically it will say y is not defined. Understood? What is the difference between undefined and not defined? Not defined means what? Not defined means what? So there is no reference. There is no reference. So there is no reference for the variable you specified. Well, the variable you specified. There is no reference for the variable you specified. There is no reference for the variable you have specified. You specified a variable, there is no specifier, right? So y is not defined and x is undefined. I hope everybody understood what is not defined and undefined. Understood? Undefined means undefined means undefined means a variable is there, but variable is there, but there is no value in it. Am I right? A variable is there, but there is no value in it. Not defined means there is no reference at all. So that means we have defined some name, so it will not be available, right? There is no reference, am I right? There is no reference for the variable you defined, am I right? For the variable you specified. Now, okay, that is what the point, right? Y is not defined, okay? Understood? When you try to print this problem, that's x defined is what? What is not defined? Here I am writing x and y. Okay. This type of spelling points, it's okay. You understood or not, that is clear. It should be clear. Understood? You understood it clear? Y is not defined, x is undefined. Okay, right, that's fine. So this is the key point. So let's see that point. We will see that, right? We will see that. So here I am defining something like this. Let's put that. So let, so let name is a string, string, and it is equal to some name. Okay. Now let price is a number and there is no value. Now console.log, we are printing name. So we are printing the name. And in the next line, we are printing the price. It will not show any error. So price, it will not show any error. It will simply put undefined. It's not error. It will simply put undefined. It will simply put undefined. So when I compile and run this, you can see it says price undefined. So price is equal to undefined. That means it says that price is undefined. We are configuring the price is undefined. You see price is undefined. So price is undefined. That is important, right? That is the point. That's very important, right? You need to understand about this. And for example, suppose I am writing here something like suppose stock. There is no stock at all. Obviously, it will show an error. Error is nothing but, so it simply says that when I compile and run this, so technically it is actually a reference error. Reference error means it is not defined. it is keeping it more clear for you. It is keeping it more clear for you. That is cannot find stock. So our debugger is keeping it more clear. But if I run in my browser, then usually it should say that, suppose if I am trying to run in the browser something here. Suppose we are trying here. Suppose y equal to 1. There is no y at all. And we are comparing with y. Then in the debugger, it should show clearly the reference problem. Say that not defined. Understood? Why not defined? It is a reference error. It will simply say that y is not defined. So if anyone asks what is not defined, what is undefined? That means not defined means there is no reference at all, but you are trying to use it. Then it is not defined. There is a reference, but there is no value into it. Then we call it as undefined. Call it as undefined. Now important is, now TypeScript have provided so many techniques. You need to know that. So the point is, another point we will discuss about that. Actually, TypeScript supports union of types. TypeScript supports union of types, which allows a variable to handle multiple types. Because at different situation we need to deal them. For example, union of types. For example, if I say let x as any, now I stored 10 and let, so x any, and I stored a, are both valid? Are both valid? Are both valid? Separate, different. Separate. Separately I am declaring. Both are valid because any means it will allow anything. Na? Am I right? I am not saying that both are in one scope. If one scope redeclared, na, that is not like that. I am just giving separately. Separately x any, it is valid. Separately x any, string valid. Can I store a boolean also into it? Any means can I store a boolean also into it? Yes. But I want to restrict only number and string, not boolean. If I give any, it will accept all. Then what to do is, if you want to handle only two, then union of types. How you can handle the union of types? We go with specific data type, but currently we have given only one type now. That means suppose I say string. Now is x equal to string and 10. Is it valid? Is it valid? It is not valid. Then how do I declare x so that it can access both string and number? So TypeScript have a special ability for that. You can simply put a pipe symbol and say number. Now it is valid. This is called union of types. Understood? TypeScript have the ability of union of types. That means now you can restrict x to handle both string and number. That's good, right? That's very good because if I give any, accidentally a boolean goes, it will accept. But we can restrict now. That's what union of types. Why we have to discuss, so later detailing we will learn. That means now price is a number, but sometimes we are expecting price. So I will show you that. For example, see, suppose if I try to put name is equal to 10, it is invalid. It is not accepting name because it is string. I will use simply pipe symbol and I keep number, then it is valid. It will allow it. Now name is 10. You can put a string, you can put a number. Later I will tell you how to know the data type and how to handle the types. Right? That means if it is string, what should happen? If it is number, what should happen? There can be union of types. TypeScript supports union of types. What is the advantage of union of types? It can handle different situations. different situations. I will tell you different situations. For example, here I am writing, here I am writing. So simple, I will first show you what is the union of type. I am writing here simple let, because that is important for our undefined, right? So I am writing here let, and I am defining as page. This is a string and a number, a string and a number. Now I am expecting some value into the page. If page is equal to home.html, if page is equal to, I'm defining some value into it. Now I'm writing a condition. If page is equal to home.html, home.html, if page is equal to home.html, that means you can store some value. That means, so actually this is only string, okay? So if page is equal to home.html, that's fine, okay? Now I need to declare one more. So this is general, that means this is directly I will apply, it is fine. Okay, I will create here message. Message is a string and a number. Why we are declaring as a string and number? Because if page is home.html, that means then what it has to do is, so it should print. So message, it should print a message, and message should be string. That means you requested for, you requested for home page, that's okay. That means which page, I can put a backtick and keep that name also detailing. You requested for home page, that means we will define dollar, that is page. So which page, I will access it. Else what should happen? If else what should happen? I can put the message as 404 like this. I can put a number also. I can access a number and define a number. And I can print that message. So that means I can print the message. So console.log, I am printing the message. That means, so here message is designed to send a number, and message is designed to send a value, because based on numbers we will do later manipulations. Like suppose I written if msg is equal to, so 400, if msg is equal to 400, then we will put msg is equal to, so msg is equal to, so bad request, and else what should happen, else if msg is equal to 404, then we will put msg is equal to not found. Like this we will define the values, like this we configure the values, and we are printing that. That means here if the conditions are there based on that, because you see now message is designed to print a string and to print a number. How you can manage that to print a string or a number, that is important here. I will compile this, I will run this. So if they have written home.html, then say you requested for home HTML page. Suppose I am requesting for a page called about, but there is no about page queries here, and I run this when I requested that, and I compile and run this now, about page, then it simply says not found. That means it will display that it is not found, right? It will display that it is not found. That means you can handle a variable with two types. That's great. That's what actually union of types. This, according to the situation, we can make the variable to handle. But important, you may ask like why I can't declare any. If I declare any, then accidentally later if I send a boolean, it will take that boolean also. I want it strictly to work for only string and numbers. You may ask like, can I put multiple? Yes, you can put multiple. You can put boolean also. You can put any another types also that we have. We can put undefined also. right? But that depends on how you can configure. That means you are restricting to that particular. This is actually union of type. This is actually union of type. TypeScript supports union of types. TypeScript supports union of type, right? Yeah. So that is an example. So union of type, union of type. Now, why we have to discuss about this in between of undefined? Because in between of undefined, why we have to discuss about that union of types? So because when we are dealing with undefined, now we are expecting two values actually. So we are expecting two values. LET, suppose name, it is a string. Okay, it is some Samsung TV. And when we define price, we are expecting a number or undefined, because sometimes price is unknown, because price will be later provided. Currently not there. Later it will be provided. Then we should not handle price until it is provided. Then how you will know whether the price provided or not? We have to use undefined. So I'm writing a condition here. If price is equal to undefined, then print console.log, then print only name. Name is equal to, we have to print only name. If it is not undefined, that means undefined types are verified by using the keyword undefined. So you declare the data type undefined, then you verify by using the keyword undefined. So if it is undefined, it is defined, then console.log, it should print both. Name is equal to, so it has to print name. And in the next line, it have to print price is equal to, price. It should print the name and price. And I am compiling this and I am running this. You can compile and run this. You can see it is printing only name. This time it will not show that price undefined. Why? Because if price is undefined, it will never print it. Suppose price is defined, that means you defined some value into that price. It will allow to define a number. I defined some value into it. Then if I defined value into it, it is able to print that value. Right? It can print the value. If not, then it will simply ignore that, because for that we handled a condition. So undefined is used for handling this situation. After understanding union of types, this is for undefined. You can handle this. That means you can declare the data type as undefined. That means now the variable is expecting either a number or undefined. And undefined is verified by using the keyword undefined. Undefined is verified by using the keyword undefined. Based on that, we can handle the operations, right? That is about how we can deal with the undefined types. Now, similarly, we have null types and other non-primitive types that we will discuss in the next session. Tomorrow we will discuss about that, right? Hope you are clear with today's concept. And tomorrow we will continue with the other data types. Now we will go into reference types and work with the reference types. Okay. You will learn about others when you are dealing with operators. Double equal, triple equal, they are operators, right? When we learn about operators, we will learn about that. Okay. No hurry. Yes, Kundan, what is your doubt?
Sir, is there any way to find
You
out the
have a
data types?
you do, if you know JavaScript, there is a type of.
Yes, sir.
You know JavaScript? Huh? No,
No,
you
sir,
don't
I
know
don't.
JavaScript. That's the reason you ask the question, because type of is an operator which is used to know the data type.
Yes.
Instance of is an operator to know from which class it is derived. There are so many operators. You will learn when operators will come, right? Type of is an operator. Okay.
Yeah. Sir, is it pre-requested to learn JavaScript first, then type?
100%. Without JavaScript, you cannot be a developer for web technologies. That is the basic thing, right? It will be like a joke, like I know Java, .NET, but I don't know JavaScript. Then it's silly, right? A web developer means he must have knowledge of JavaScript, HTML, CSS, mandatory. Understood?
Yes. Thank you.